On this episode of the Getting Rooted podcast, I just need to be more disciplined. A lot of women say that to themselves, but most of the time, discipline isn't the real issue. It's overload. When you've been carrying too much for too long, it doesn't always look like burnout right away. It looks like procrastination, like inconsistency, like you're not doing enough, like you're sitting there knowing what needs to be done and still not doing it.
Let's get rooted with Getting Rooted podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Getting Rooted. I'm your host, Janine Hansel-Frimpong, therapist and mental wellness coach. And I help women who feel overwhelmed reset their lives without burning everything down by staying rooted internally and making small, sustainable changes. I want to talk about something that comes up a lot. It's that feeling that you're falling behind, that you're not doing enough, that you just need to push a little harder. But what if that's not actually the problem? What if you're not lazy? You're overloaded. Follow me for a little bit. Because when I say overloaded, I don't just mean you have a lot to do. I mean, everything you're responsible for, you're managing, your own life while also showing up for your kids, helping take care of family, handling work, maintaining relationships, carrying emotional weight that no one sees. And most of that is happening all at the same time. You're answering questions, making decisions, and solving problems back to back to back all day long. Sounds like anything familiar? Well, let me slow this down and make this real for you, because this isn't theoretical. This is what it actually looks like. You wake up already thinking what needs to get done, who needs what from you, what you forgot yesterday. And this is before your day even starts. Your mind is already working. And then the day begins. You're responding, adjusting, handling things as they come. And most of what you're doing, it doesn't even get acknowledged as work. The work. It's just expected. And so by the time you finally get a moment, maybe later in the day, maybe after everyone else is taken care of, you sit down and now it's time to focus. It's time to work on something for yourself. And that's when it hits. You don't feel like doing anything, right? And I've had days like that where I've handled everything, being a mom, taking care of my dad, managing work, figuring things out in a whole different country. And by the time I finally sit down to do something for myself, I'm just sitting there, not doing anything. Not because I don't know what needs to get done, but because I've already used up so much mental energy just getting through the day. And in that moment, it would be easy just to say, you're procrastinating. You need to be more disciplined. But that's not what's happening. I was overloaded. And this happens a lot, for me. And I wake up at 5:40 in the morning. I get myself ready. I get Royal ready. And then our commute is 13 minutes without traffic. With traffic, is an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. So by the time I do that and come back, I am like wiped, and it's only 8:30 in the morning. And so imagine that. And then I still have all the things to do. I have to run errands. I got to maybe sit in on a doctor's appointment. I may have to take my mom to do stuff. Like, there's always something to do, and it causes overload. That when it's time for you to focus on you and what you need, there's no energy. There's no capacity to do those things. And so what I want to really talk about, that's not just you being physically tired, right? That is mental fatigue. That is mentally being tired, having decision fatigue, having emotional fatigue, cognitive overload. So when you finally have that moment, you don't want to think anymore, right? You don't want to have to figure anything else out. But instead of recognizing that, a lot of women tell themselves, I just need to be more disciplined. Because from the outside, It just looked like you didn't follow through, right? And so that's where things get off. That's, where things begin to get a little muddled because it's not that you don't have motivation, it's that your capacity is already stretched. And when your capacity is low, making decisions feel harder. It's harder to focus even on small things. It feels like a lot, like sending an email, starting a task, even getting up to do something you plan to do. From the outside, it may look like you're not trying, but that's not what's happening. Like there's many times where I say I'm going to go do something or I tell somebody I'm going to meet them and then I'm just like when the time comes I'm like I'm exhausted. I don't even have the wherewithal to engage in adult conversation. Cuz all I do for living is talking, podcasting, social media, therapy with clients, like I'm constantly in coaching, like I'm constantly talking. And so for there to be a social event or something to socialize, like I want to do it. Like there's a part of me that wants to do it, but the other part that's exhausted and overtired usually overrides and wins because I just don't have the capacity to be present and intentional in those interactions. It's not me being lazy. It's more so me noticing I'm tapped out. My capacity is very low. My rubber band has been stretched very, very, very far and is very, very thin. Right. Um, so overwhelmed doesn't always sound like I'm overwhelmed. Sometimes it sounds like I'll do that later. I just can't get started. I don't feel like it, even when you know it matters. You just don't have the energy to start it. So let me ask you something. How many things are sitting in your mind right now that you haven't done yet? How many things are half finished or pushed to later? Mhm. That's not laziness. That's accumulation. And when things accumulate, they feel bigger than they are, right? What you're calling laziness is your system saying, this is too much. And it's not because you can't handle anything, but because you've been handling everything, it's a lot. And instead of listening to that voice, you push harder, right? Instead of saying, you know what, let me slow down, you go a little harder. You tell yourself to get it together, right? You start giving yourself a pep talk. I got to do this. I got to get it together. You tell yourself, stop procrastinating and just do it. Sound familiar? Right? You try to fix it with discipline. You try to fix it with structure, with more pressure. But pressure doesn't fix overload. I'm going to say it again. Pressure doesn't fix overload. Yeah, exactly. So the real question isn't how do I become more disciplined? The question really is what am I carrying right now that's affecting my capacity? What's already taking up space before you even get to the thing you're trying to do? Because if you don't look at that, you'll keep trying to push through something that actually needs to change. So here's something simple you can do. Nothing complicated. I just want you to pause for a second and make a mental list. What's currently on your plate? Not just tasks, responsibilities, expectations, emotional weight, everything you're carrying. Go ahead. I'm going to give you a few seconds. And you can pause this if you need to. Now, I want you to ask yourself what actually needs to be done today and what just feels urgent because it's been sitting there. Okay. So, what actually needs to be done today and what just feels urgent because it's been sitting there? Go ahead and pause and think about that because there's a difference. what actually needs to be done versus what feels urgent because you've been procrastinating on it or you've been putting on the back burner and say, I'll do that later, I'll do that later. So really assess that for yourself. Okay. And so for a lot of strong women, the work isn't doing more, it's taking some of the pressure off, even in small ways. Like looking at what's on your plate and letting go of what doesn't need to be there. Right? Kind of like if you go to a buffet and you pile your plate up with all the food, but then you don't eat it all because you are overwhelmed by what is on your plate. So now we got to take some things off. Got to get some other plates and put them over there because they don't need to be on your plate right now. They don't need to be taking up space, right? And making space where you can is the best thing that you can do. Maybe that would look like doing less in a day, not responding immediately, or pushing something to tomorrow without guilt. Because you can't build consistency when you're constantly running on empty. You just can't. So, if you've been telling yourself lately that you need to get it together, that you need to try harder, I just want you to pause for a second. Just pause for a second. Not to fix anything, but just to notice. And ask yourself, what am I carrying right now? What's already on me before I even add one more thing? What's taking up your mental space, your energy, your attention? Because there's a difference between needing discipline and needing relief. And a lot of women need relief. So, if you've been feeling like this lately, like you're doing a lot, but feeling stuck, you still feel stuck, don't rush to fix everything. Just start by noticing what you're carrying. And if you need something simple to help you slow things down in a moment, I do have a quick reset you can use. And you can find that in the link below. So stay rooted in your truth and take care of your mind. And I'll see you in the next episode.
Let's get rooted.